We're going to talk about the listening and the learning environment. So the purpose of all environmental and technological management strategies is to enhance the reception of clear and intact acoustic signals in order to access, develop, and organize the auditory centers of the brain. So you want to control and manage the listening environment, put favorable positioning of the talkers always within earshot of the baby or child. And it's very important that they wear their hearing aids, their cochlear implants, their FM systems at all time, or else you're wasting a lot of energy. So you want to make sure they have their devices on and that they're working properly. The integrity of the learning environment is very important. Children are often placed in demanding, degraded, or constantly changing listening situations due to the noise and the distance from the talker. The further you are from the sound source, the greater the background noise and the poorer the speech-to-noise ratio. Distance hearing, that incidental learning, is so important for children. I've said this before. And typical children as young as 2 years old can learn new words just by overhearing them. Children with hearing loss, even that minimal hearing loss, have a reduced overhearing potential. They can't receive intelligible speech well over distances, and this is a substantial problem for life and classroom performance. So distance hearing needs to be extended as much as possible through technology. You want to work on the signal-to-noise ratio. So the signal-to-noise ratio is the primary relationship between the signal and the background noise. And noise is anything that conflicts with the auditory signal of choice. So it could be other talkers, heating or cooling systems, classroom hall noise, playgrounds, computer noise, and all those other things. And a child needs an even quieter environment than adults to learn. So if you think you're learning when the TV's on, you're not. You really need a quiet environment to focus and learn, and even more so for children. So adults with normal hearing and good listening skills require a +6 signal-to-noise ratio. And in children, that means the signal being 6 decibels above the background noise. Children need an even more favorable signal-to-noise ratio because they're neurologically immature. They have a lack of language and life experience and the reduced ability to perform auditory and cognitive closure. So for children, we want the desired signal to be 10 times louder than the competing sounds. So you want a signal-to-noise ratio of 15 to 20 dB over the noise. The American National Standard Institute came up with acoustic guidelines for classrooms. And they looked at background noise and reverberation, and they came up with this minimally acceptable background noise level for learning in a classroom for these children up to 15 decibels louder than the background noise. So 15 decibels is necessary to provide children with access to intelligible classroom instruction. And very, very few classrooms comply with this. If we were sitting in Marillac right now, we would definitely not be in compliance. And you know why? All of those projectors. So all of those projectors over St. John's are so noisy, or that heating and cooling system really affects our background noise level. Luckily, you guys are adults and you're smart and you're able to focus. But I bet you would do even better in your classes if the university did something about that heating and cooling system of ours. So the typical classroom is unstable and averages only about a +4 signal-to-noise ratio. Due to reverberation or variation in the teacher's positions, it could be as low as 0 decibels. The biggest source of classroom noise is the children and everything else going on. So anyone who's ever stepped inside a nursery school or a kindergarten classroom can say, yes, those children are noisy. Flooring and ceiling areas comprise 60% of the total area of a school, and that has a considerable impact on the noise levels. Carpeted rooms with acoustic tiles are preferred. Rooms should have carpets if the child has hearing loss. Heating and ventilation systems are a huge source of noise. When you're working with an infant or a child, you want to make sure that as much background noise is turned off, and you want to sit next to the child or hold the child on your lap so that you're speaking directly into their ear or the microphone of their cochlear implant or their hearing aid, not facing them. So everybody should be mindful of home heating and cooling systems. TV should be off, computers shouldn't be humming, there shouldn't be lawnmowers in the background or hallway noise or Xerox machines. The quieter the position, the better. Turn off your electronics, close your windows, put yourself next to the child's ear.